everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
So don't bully me, but I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more about my incestuous family, okay? It's not a tree, it's a bush. Let me try to explain it best I can. I'm gonna get confused, you're gonna get confused, you're gonna ask the questions, and I'm gonna answer them. Deal? Deal. Step 1, great-grandma, great-grandpa, Ortel and LaDonna Kingston. Ortel and LaDonna. Okay, these guys got married to each other. Does that make sense so far? Okay, that's pretty simple. Ortel, LaDonna, married, right? They have 9 children, okay? 7 brothers, 2 sisters. We'll write that down, actually. 7 boys, 2 girls. 2 of these 7 boys are very important in my family tree, okay? One of these 7 boys is my grandpa, the leader of the order right now, which is Paul Kingston, okay? We're gonna write that down. Paul Kingston. And then the other brother, there's 7 of them, right? One of them is my grandpa, which is Paul Kingston, and then the other brother is my dad, which is Jason Kingston, okay? We're gonna write that down. Jason Kingston. Okay, so my grandpa, we'll write grandpa up here. And then Jason is my dad, so we'll write dad above here.
Wait, her grandpa?
Okay, so Paul Kingston has 27 wives, okay? 27 wives. One of his 27 wives is my grandma. So he marries, let's just say legal wife. He marries legal wife. And this legal wife has 18 children. I'm just gonna put the numbers by their names. So Paul Kingston marries this legal wife, has 18 children with her, and one of these children were my mom, okay? My mom. And then my mom, she married my dad, okay, which is Jason Kingston. That's how Jason Kingston is my dad, because my mom married Paul Kingston's full brother, which is Jason, okay? And then it gets even worse. Just bear with me, listen, pay attention in class. My mom has 18 siblings, right? Remember how we said the legal wife has 18 kids? My mom has 18 siblings. Let's say one of my mom's brothers have kids, okay? Which is my generation. So mom has me. Brothers have kids. Wait. We'll say this brother has a girl, okay? My mom has a brother, and that brother has a girl. And that girl, my dad marries that girl. So my dad is basically marrying my generation at this point. First generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation. My dad, second generation, is marrying fifth generation, okay? We'll put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, hear me out. This is what they had me do. My mom has another brother, okay? We'll just put him right here. Brother. Because remember, she has 18 siblings. Well, 17 including her, but 18 kids altogether with this legal wife right here. And she has multiple brothers, multiple sisters. Her youngest brother is who they had me marry, okay? And then we had a kid, a boy. And I bet if I stayed in the cult that I came from, they were gonna have my boy marry one of my siblings, because I have 17. So wait. My mom has 17 kids, but I have 16 siblings, multiple girls, multiple boys. So I feel like if they had me stay in there, they would have my boy marry my sister, either one of my sisters. Wait. Yeah, I feel like they would have my boy marry one of my sisters. I'll just say girl, actually. Girl. And it would just keep going like that. Okay? And this is not just me. Remember how I have 16 siblings? I have 5 older sisters, and all 5 of my older sisters married my mom's brothers and sisters just like me. You see? You see little old me right here? How I married my mom's brother right there? My mom has 17 siblings. She has multiple brothers, and my siblings, which I have 16 of them, married my mom's brother. So all of us just married all of our mom's brothers. And guess what's even worse? 2 of my direct sisters from my mom and my dad married the same brother. You know how polygamy is a thing in there? They both married the same brother. Okay, so let's just say me, my sister, I'm gonna erase this 5th generation. You guys get it. Sister, and let's just do 2 sisters. 2 sisters. These 2 sisters from mom and dad marry my mom's full siblings. So they both married the same guy. I didn't do that, but 2 of my sisters did. So yeah, they're sleeping together, I guess. I don't know. Thanks, mom and dad and the system and all my siblings for marrying your uncles, because what the fuck? If you guys have any questions about my family tree, feel free to leave them down below. Hi, I'm from a polygamous school, and someone's wondering, is LaDonna Kingston my grandmother from my dad or my mom? So unfortunately, she's kind of from both. She's my grandmother from my dad's side, and then she's my great-grandmother from my mom's side, because my mom decided to marry her uncle, which makes my dad my great-uncle, which makes my dad's mom my great-grandmother, which makes... Somebody want to go ask them why they're so confusing? Okay, some people are still confused on how my dad and my grandpa are full brothers. Just imagine this. Think about it in your perspective. You have a mom and you have a dad, right? Let's say that mom and dad has kids. Those are your siblings, right? If your mom and your dad has kids, they're your siblings. So that's how fucked up it is. My dad is my grandpa's younger brother from the same mom, same dad. And my grandpa is my dad's older brother from the same mom, same dad. I hope that made sense.
What to do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Now, before I get to that, somebody put a so the great grandpa and the great grandma had the grandpa and had the dad. The grandpa and her grandpa, this is the girl who's telling the story, her grandpa and grandma, I don't know where they came from. I don't know where the grandma came from. I forgot what she said. But they had her mom. The great grandparents had her dad, which the dad married the mom, and the mom is of the grandma and grandpa, which the grandpa is the brother of the dad. And the dad and the mom had the child. That's why the dad and her grandpa from the mom's side are full brothers.
Hey guys, it's Catherine here again, coming from a polygamous cult, and I wanted to explain my growing up situation, because this comment reminded me, what were the living situations like? So I grew up in Grandma LaDonna's house, LaDonna Kingston. Remember how the family tree we went over? We grew up in LaDonna Kingston's house, and let me just kind of tell you what it was like. This house looked like, so we called it the front room, the old house that she lived, like the old area that she lived in, and that was only for storage and like Grandma LaDonna's things after she passed. So let me just see. There was 2 rooms, one main living front room, and then like a side room, and then a bathroom. That was the whole like old living space that Grandma LaDonna used to own before she passed. So after she died, we weren't allowed to use that area. My dad would lock that part of the house up, and we had to just survive off of the new part of the house. If this makes sense, it's kind of confusing. So there's like the old part where Grandma LaDonna used to live, and then after she passed, my dad like saved all of her things in that old spot in the old area, had that locked up, and then we were only able to use like the new part of the house that was like the add-on of the house, and it was pretty much just like a kitchen, a living room, a laundry room, a basement, and then an upstairs. And upstairs there was 3 rooms, the mom and dad room, the boys, and then the girls, and then a bathroom. That was it. So we had I have 16 siblings, and we had a pretty big house with a lot of rooms, but we weren't allowed to use half of the house because it was saved for storage and Grandma LaDonna's things. So 16 or however much kids we had at the time, I would say like 12 at the time. All the girls had to squeeze in one room, and all the boys had to squeeze in one room. So it was pretty squishy, and my older sister, she actually didn't sleep in the room. She slept on the couch downstairs for half of her childhood because there was no space for her. And they would rather use that old part of the house as storage for Grandma LaDonna's things than to allow us to have the space and for the kids to have their own rooms. And then also the basement was used just for like a ton of storage that like the order needed. So it was like a bunch of files, a bunch of just random shit. There was a bunch of like secret rooms down in there too, but that we weren't allowed to use as like living space. It was just all storage. But yeah, I hope that made sense. That was a little bit of our living situation. Okay, I'm gonna try to explain this one more time, and I used red as the girls and black as the boys because it might be easier to understand. And I wrote it out a little better. So, family tree, Ortel LaDonna Kingston, right? Great grandpa, great grandma. These guys have 7 kids, which is my grandpa and my dad. These guys are full brothers from Ortel and LaDonna. But the reason how Paul Kingston is my grandpa and Jason is my dad is because Paul Kingston got married to his legal wife and then had my mom right here, okay? So these 2 had my mom. So that makes my mom Paul Kingston's daughter. She is Paul Kingston's direct daughter. And then my mom had me, which makes me Paul Kingston's granddaughter. So he is my grandpappy. And since my mom married her uncle, which is Paul Kingston's full brother, from the same mom, same dad, that makes my dad my great uncle. So my dad is my mom's uncle. So that makes him my great uncle, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Does that make more clear sense or whatever? And by the way, this is just scratching the surface. My dad has 7 wives. Paul Kingston has 27 wives. My mom has 17 kids. The legal wife has 18 kids. These guys had 9 kids, but there's also multiple wives involved. It wasn't just LaDonna Kingston and Ortel Kingston. And then same with me. I was the 3rd wife to my ex-husband, which is my uncle, right? This is like just the simplest I could put it, with just my grandma, grandpa, and then grandma and grandpa on this side too. And then just my mom, me, and my dad. That's not including everybody else. So I hope that was a little more simple for you guys to comprehend. Whoopsie. Hello, beautiful people. This is a large question asked by a ton of my audience, so I wanted to answer your guys' question. Do I have any health problems as a result of incest? So I like to think I'm pretty normal, but I mean, what do you consider normal? Because I have a little bit of ADHD, spice in a little bit of PTSD and OCD. I'm a little dyslexic. That's what my spellings is all about. I have brain fog when I'm disassociating occasionally. What else? What else is like crazy wrong about me? Oh, I have a little bit of stomach issues, but I'm trying to decide if that's like incest or the way I was raised. What else? I'm pretty normal, but I am a little quirky, and I don't really give a because the world would be boring if everybody was the same. And then, oh, also there were incestuous babies born. That's why they started doing the blood testing and like the genetic testing when you're pregnant. So that happened with me because I married my uncle. And then same, it also happened like with my dad. So my dad married his like half sister or niece, I can't remember. And they had 2 kids and they were both born with deformities. One of them made it past the 20s, but they passed in their 20s, and the other one passed in their teens. And that was because of incest. So now they do like the genetic testing and the blood draws to see everybody's blood type and things like that to avoid those genetic mutations that they've had in the past. That's kind of what they do now. With my situation, I had 3 pregnancies, 1 birth of a child, and 1 miscarriage, and then 1 abortion because of the incest. But yeah, so that's with every single pregnancy, they test you in the hospital if you're a product of incest so that they can see if the baby is healthy or not, and you can decide to keep it or not. Did any of my siblings get out or want to? So I have 1 older sister from my direct mom and direct dad. We see each other when we can. I like to see her whenever I can. And then I also have like a few siblings from my other moms so same dad, different mom, that have also got away and they're free now. But for the most part, I don't talk to anybody who is still in the cult. Anybody who needs help is welcome to reach out, but I haven't gotten a lot of people reaching out for help. And then also, yeah, I don't talk to my mom. I blocked her. I don't talk to my dad. I also blocked him. And then I also don't talk to any of my siblings or anybody I grew up with in the cult. They're just completely dead in my eyes. But that's kind of how I had to put it to process that grieving process with my past and my family. So how old was I when I got married to my uncle? I was 16 in the order. How old was I when I left the order? I was about 19. I tried to leave around 18 and 19. Officially was out by 19. How old am I now? I am now 22. How do I plan to prevent my son from being in the cult? Tell him the truth. That's something my mom never did. No, I feel like I'm going to allow him to just be human, listen to his intuition, be very authentic, because in the order it's like obey, obey, obey. So if I just allow him to like feel and go through his emotions and do all of the normal things you're allowed to do as a human, then I feel like he's going to see the reality of someone who is lying and controlling, and someone who is allowing them to listen to themselves and be authentic. I also am gonna allow him to go to public schools and like be around public outside friends. I'm allowing him to be around his little cousins that also left and things too. So I'm creating a little community out here. We're figuring it out.
Man, what it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional. Yes, we staying lit, big dog, man. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. All right, man. So pretty much, there's a show called Escaping Polygamy where it details the 3 sisters who escaped from a polygamous cult known as the Kingsman clan. This happened back in 2014 and 2015, and so now it's 2026, and she just recently escaped maybe 4 years ago. So they're continuing whatever it is that they're doing. Like, it's continuing to happen. I'm not sure what she meant by her son growing up in the order. Like, if you escaped, I wouldn't let my son go back around there, for obvious reasons. Seems crazy. It seems like they're being raised on like a big farm in Utah. So of course that's where it is. This is crazy, man. Crazy situation. I've never experienced anything closely remote to this. But I just want to send out prayers to this young lady and her story. And of course, it's been out there with the other siblings or other women that have escaped from it, and now her. And eventually, I think, just like all cults, people step in. Like, it's a guy it's a black guy. He had a cult in Florida, but I think he lived on like some type of island. He was taking girls to this island, and they would all love him. And he would bring other guys in, and they'll bring their girlfriends. And then what he would do is end up sleeping with the girls, with the guys' girlfriends and stuff, and making them his girlfriends. So then leaving those guys with nothing and just being followers, and him being with the girls and impregnating them. And now he's doing life in prison out of Florida for, I forgot what it's called. It's called Surviving Somebody, if anybody heard of it. But crazy situation, man. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.